Crew-11 mission scrubbed. Cumulus clouds delay launch to ISS. Cumulus clouds force delay of Crew-11 mission to the space station. In a surprising turn of events, the launch of the Crew-11 mission has been postponed due to the unexpected appearance of cumulus clouds. As of July 31st, 1:12 p.m. EDT, mission teams are now aiming for a new launch window no earlier than August 1st, 2025, contingent on favorable weather conditions. A team of astronauts, including NASA's Zena Cardman, who were initially assigned to different missions, finally secured their opportunity to embark on this journey. However, they will have to exercise patience for at least one more day before they can lift off towards the International Space Station, ISS, from Florida. The SpaceX Crew-11 mission was just over a minute away from its scheduled launch aboard the Crew Dragon Endeavour spacecraft when the cumulus clouds appeared in a critical area, leading to the launch being scrubbed. A new target for liftoff from Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center is set for Friday, August 1st at 11:43 a.m. EDT, 15:43 UTC. For those eager to follow the mission, Spaceflight Now will provide live coverage starting approximately 4 hours before the new launch time. On Wednesday, the 45th Weather Squadron had predicted a 90% likelihood of favorable weather for the launch. Meteorologists had assessed that the chances of cumulus clouds interfering were low, but this proved to be a miscalculation that ultimately halted the launch attempt. Steve Stitch, NASA's Commercial Crew Program Manager, noted during a pre-launch briefing that the weather conditions for an abort scenario looked promising as well, with winds and waves along the ascent path remaining within acceptable limits. We'll keep a close eye on any showers or thunderstorms that may develop in the staging area, he added, emphasizing the importance of monitoring the weather closely. Looking ahead, launch weather officers expressed concerns that conditions for backup launch attempts might be less favorable than those on Thursday. They indicated that a front moving into the southeastern U.S. over the weekend could increase moisture levels, raising the risk of violating the cumulus cloud rule on Saturday. Furthermore, this front is expected to bring a heightened chance of showers, storms, and stronger winds along the ascent corridor, particularly on Friday and Saturday. For this mission, SpaceX will utilize the Falcon 9 first stage booster designated B1094. This booster has a history, having previously flown on the Starlink 1210 mission on April 29 and the Axiom Mission 4, AX-4, on June 25. During the Starlink 1210 mission, the booster experienced a liquid oxygen leak upon landing on the drone ship named a shortfall of gravitas. And this issue resurfaced during pre-launch testing for AX-4. Fortunately, the test campaign leading up to Crew-11 did not reveal any further leaks. However, following a static fire test on Tuesday, originally planned for Monday but postponed due to a sensor issue, SpaceX replaced one of the engine controllers on B1094's Engine 5 due to some unusual readings. We've checked that out and it's good for flight, Stitch confirmed. Approximately 8 minutes after liftoff, B1094 is expected to land at Landing Zone 1, LZ-1, at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. If successful, this will mark the 53rd landing at LZ-1, and according to William Gerstenmaier, SpaceX's Vice President of Build and Flight Reliability, this will also be the last time SpaceX utilizes LZ-1. The U.S. Space Force has mandated that launch providers wishing to use landing pads must have them located at the launch complex from which the rocket departs. Gerstenmaier indicated that they will continue to use LZ-2 after LZ-1 is retired. The two landing pads are situated at Launch Complex 13, which is set to become the future site for Via Space and Phantom Space, who are developing small, orbital-class rockets. SpaceX enhancements. The Crew-11 mission will mark the 6th flight for the Crew Dragon Endeavour, which first took to the skies during the Demo 2 mission in May 2020. NASA and SpaceX have conducted extensive reviews of the various subsystems on the spacecraft. As this marks its 6th flight, when the Dragon was certified for long-duration missions as part of the Commercial Crew Program, it was initially approved for up to 5 flights. Ultimately, both NASA and SpaceX aim to extend this certification, to allow for up to 15 flights. SpaceX recently launched its fifth and final Crew Dragon vehicle, named Grace, during the X-4 mission. Among the recent upgrades made to the Dragon spacecraft are enhancements to its heat shield and improvements to the parachute deployment system, both of which were showcased during the return of X-4 from the ISS. Gerstenmaier also mentioned that the Crew-11 pilot, NASA astronaut Mike Fincke, will be wearing an upgraded intravehicular activity (IVA) flight suit designed for better mobility. Meet the crew. The 4 members of the Crew-11 mission share a unique connection, as they were all previously assigned to different missions before coming together for this flight. Zena Cardman was originally set to command the Crew-9 mission, but due to complications with the Boeing CST-100 Starliner spacecraft during its crew flight test, NASA decided to ground her and fellow astronaut, Stephanie Wilson, to free up seats for the CFT crew. Cardman was swiftly reassigned to Crew-11, but as of Thursday, it remains uncertain when Wilson will have her chance to fly. This mission will mark Cardman's inaugural journey into space. Her pilot, Mike Fincke, is no stranger to space travel, as this will be his 4th trip to the ISS and his 3rd different spacecraft to take him there. In a poetic twist, his last mission was aboard the space shuttle orbiter named Endeavour, making this flight a full-circle moment for him. Fincke was also initially training for another mission, Starliner 1. Alongside NASA astronaut and Starliner 1 commander Scott Tingle, as well as mission specialists Joshua Kutrick from the Canadian Space Agency and Kimiya Yui from the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, JAXA. Yui is now serving as a mission specialist for Crew-11, marking his 2nd trip to the ISS after previously launching on a Russian Soyuz spacecraft a decade ago. He was part of the development team for a JAXA cargo vehicle called HTVX, which is scheduled to launch to the ISS this fall. Yui will oversee its arrival and docking, similar to his role during the arrival of the 5th HTV spacecraft in 2015. Completing the crew is Roscosmos cosmonaut Oleg Platonov, who is embarking on his first journey into space. He was initially training as a backup crew member for a Soyuz flight when he was removed from that mission by the medical board. Like 6 others before him, Platonov's opportunity to fly aboard a Dragon spacecraft comes as a result of a seat swap agreement between NASA and Roscosmos. These 4 astronauts and the cosmonaut are set to spend a minimum of 6 months, and potentially up to 8 months, aboard the ISS, where they will conduct a multitude of scientific experiments. NASA's SpaceX Crew-11 mission, launch, docking astronauts' journey to ISS. Get ready for an exciting journey into space. NASA is gearing up to cover the highly anticipated SpaceX Crew-11 launch, which is set to transport astronauts to the International Space Station, ISS. This mission is not just another launch. It represents a significant milestone in human space exploration and the ongoing partnership between NASA and private industry. But here's where it gets controversial. The launch date has been adjusted due to weather conditions, with the new liftoff scheduled for 11:43 a.m. EDT on Friday, August 1st, from the historic Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The docking with the ISS is expected to occur around 3 a.m. on Saturday, August 2nd. This change highlights the unpredictable nature of space missions, where even the best-laid plans can be altered by Mother Nature. For those eager to witness the launch, you can catch the live coverage on NASA Plus and Amazon Prime, among other platforms. This mission will see NASA astronauts Zena Cardman and Mike Fincke, along with JAXA astronaut Kimiya Yui and Roscosmos cosmonaut Oleg Platonov, embark on a scientific mission aboard the SpaceX Dragon spacecraft. This marks the 11th crew rotation mission and the 12th human spaceflight mission supported by the Dragon spacecraft since 2020 as part of NASA's Commercial Crew program. And this is the part most people miss. The deadline for media accreditation for in-person coverage has already passed, but for those interested in following the mission closely, NASA offers a wealth of resources online. Media representatives can subscribe to the agency's distribution list for live video feeds and updates. Here's a quick overview of the mission coverage schedule. All times are in Eastern Daylight Time and may change based on real-time operations. Saturday, July 26th, 1 p.m. Crew-11 arrival media event at NASA Kennedy featuring the astronauts. This event is exclusive to previously credentialed media. Follow at NASA Kennedy on X for updates. Wednesday, July 30th, 5:30 p.m. Pre-launch news conference with key figures from NASA, SpaceX, and JAXA. This will be streamed live on NASA's YouTube channel, and media can ask questions in person or via phone. Friday, August 1st, 7:35 a.m. Launch coverage begins on NASA Plus and Amazon Prime. 11:43 a.m. Launch occurs. After the launch, NASA will provide audio-only discussions between Crew-11 and flight controllers as the spacecraft makes its way to the ISS. 1 p.m. Post-launch news conference with various officials from NASA and SpaceX, streamed live on YouTube. Saturday, August 2nd, 1 a.m. Arrival coverage begins on NASA Plus. 3 a.m. Targeted docking with the ISS. 4:45 a.m. Hatch opening. 5:45 a.m. Welcome ceremony for the astronauts. All times are estimates and may be adjusted based on real-time operations. For the latest updates, check the space station blog. Live video coverage prior to launch. NASA will provide a live video feed from Launch Complex 39A approximately 6 hours before the Crew-11 mission liftoff. This feed will continue uninterrupted until the pre-launch broadcast begins on NASA Plus, about 4 hours before the launch. You can find the live feed on the NASA YouTube channel. Engage with NASA online. Members of the public can register to attend the launch virtually, gaining access to curated resources and updates. Additionally, audio coverage will be available on specific radio frequencies for those in Breathitt County. Stay connected with NASA on social media by using hashtags like #Crew11 and #NASASocial. Follow NASA's official accounts on X, Facebook, and Instagram to keep up with the latest news and updates. What do you think about the ongoing collaboration between NASA and private companies like SpaceX? Is it the future of space exploration, or do you believe it poses risks? Share your thoughts in the comments below. For more information about the mission, visit https://www.nasa.gov. Contact information: Joshua Finch, Claire O'Shea, Headquarters, Washington 202-358-1100. Joshua A. Finch at nasa.gov, Claire O'Shea at nasa.gov. Stephen Sikoloff, Stephanie Plukinski, Kennedy Space Center, Florida. 321-867-2468. Stephen.p.Sikoloff at nasa.gov, at care.finch.nasa.gov. Stephanie.N. Plukinski at nasa.gov. Joseph Zakrevsky, Johnson Space Center, Houston, 281-483-5111. Joseph A. Zakrevsky at nasa.gov. SpaceX NASA Crew-11 launch scrubbed due to weather. New launch dates revealed. In a dramatic turn of events, SpaceX and NASA were forced to abort the highly anticipated Crew-11 astronaut launch due to adverse weather conditions. Video: Cape Canaveral, Florida. The launch attempt for the Crew-11 astronaut mission, a joint venture between SpaceX and NASA, was scrubbed on July 31st, just over a minute before the scheduled liftoff. The reason? A cluster of cumulus clouds loomed over NASA's Kennedy Space Center, posing a significant safety risk. It's unfortunate that the weather didn't cooperate with today's excitement for the launch of NASA SpaceX's Crew-11, lamented NASA commentator Daryl Nail during the live coverage. We could see the clouds moving in almost as if they were taunting us, getting dangerously close to the launch pad. The safety protocol dictates a 10-mile radius standoff area around the pad for these dark cumulus clouds. This is because sending a rocket through such a cloud could potentially generate energy, posing a threat to the mission's success and safety. SpaceX is undeterred and plans to make another attempt on Friday, August 1st at 11:43 a.m. EDT, 15:43 GMT. If that doesn't work, there's still a chance on Saturday, August 2nd at 11:21 a.m. EDT, 15:21 GMT. When the mission does launch, a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket will soar from Launch Complex 39A at the Kennedy Space Center. Perched atop the rocket is the Crew Dragon Endeavour spacecraft, embarking on its 6th flight, a record for the reuse of Crew Dragon vehicles. The Crew-11 mission will carry 4 astronauts, NASA's Zena Cardman and Mike Fincke, Kimiya Yui from the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, JAXA, and Oleg Platonov from Russia's Roscosmos. But here's where it gets controversial. The decision to scrub the launch due to weather has sparked debates among space enthusiasts. Some argue that the safety measures are overly cautious, while others believe that no risk should be taken when it comes to human spaceflight. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And this is the part most people miss. Once Crew-11 launches, it will embark on a 40-hour journey to rendezvous with the International Space Station, ISS, orbiting Earth at a staggering speed of 17,500 miles per hour, 28,000 kilometers per hour, and an altitude of 248 miles, 400 kilometers above the planet's surface. As its name suggests, Crew-11 will be the 11th operational astronaut mission SpaceX has undertaken for NASA under the Commercial Crew program. This program enables NASA to transport astronauts to and from the ISS using privately developed spacecraft. Join our space forums to continue the conversation on the latest missions, night sky observations, and more. If you have any news tips, corrections, or comments, please reach out to us at community@space.com. Brett, a seasoned aerospace journalist, is passionate about emerging technologies, unconventional launch concepts, military space developments, and uncrewed aircraft systems. His work has been featured in Scientific American, The War Zone, Popular Science, and on the History Channel and Science Discovery. Brett holds English degrees from Clemson University and the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. In his leisure time, he enjoys stargazing under the dark Appalachian skies.